Hey friends, happy Tuesday. I am so excited to be here today with one of my very dear friends, Miss Janie. And we're gonna talk to you about something that's very near and dear to both of our hearts. And so, hey, as you're jumping on, let us know if you're catching this live, catching the replay. I really hope that you can find some great value in what we're gonna talk to today. Make sure to tag your friends that are in this page because this is a resource that I feel like can just totally cause a transformation in your well-being, your peace of mind, and just everything that you live for in your goals. And so a little bit of background. So Janie's one of my really good friends. She's also a budgeting expert. And she's taught me so much about how to manage my money versus letting money manage my life. And there's such a difference. And I'll never forget one day she said to me, she's like, Crystal, there's a difference in chasing your money and being able to put your money to work for you. So how many of you feel like you're constantly chasing your money, you're putting out fires, you're just throwing it places so that you can just survive, right? Well, there's no reason that we have to live that way. There is a better plan, a better way to live. And I'll tell you, I'm so excited to have Janie share because I'm by no means an expert. I would say I'm only probably at even 50% capacity of what I totally could be. But having people like her in my life to help me and to mentor me is where I've made some big changes. And so I want to share the gift of her knowledge with you because she's been so instrumental to me. And so I'm going to ask her some questions and we're just going to share with you guys some of just her best practices and what's made a difference and give you guys some tools to take away. So let's see here. Okay, so Janie, tell me this. What is the purpose behind a budget?
I love to read. It's one of the things I enjoy the most. And one of my favorite authors is Lewis Carroll. And he has a quote that says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And that's so true about your money. I mean, if you don't put it to use, it will fly away. In Mexico, they say, don't put your purse on the floor because it will walk away. Well, your money will walk away. Well, it's the same thing. If you don't budget, if you don't have a place for your money to go, it's going to go where it wants. And it will not satisfy your goals. It won't give you what you're hoping to get from your money. So the most important thing is have a plan, have a dollar directed to one specific place, whether it's saving, giving, or living on it, or preparing for a reward down the road.
Okay.
Know where every dollar's going.
Okay. So tell me and tell our viewers out there, because we've got a lot of people jumping on now, tell us what inspired you to become such a great budgeter?
Disaster. We're talking foreclosure. We're talking bankruptcy. Every mistake you could make with money, I'm the poster child for that. And it was miserable. I couldn't sleep at night. I had trouble in my marriage. I felt like I was failing my children. I just felt like such a failure in every aspect of my life. I didn't feel like I was giving to God. I just was a failure. And I took the Dave Ramsey course, which was kind of the turning point for me because he really had some good tools that I continue to use today to just restore my dignity by the way that I used my money and by the way I redirected the use of my money and also the concept of what money is.
Okay. And that's really good, I think, to the point of where you said oftentimes the reason that we are inspired to do this is because we have failed so miserably. And I know for myself, that was where I was too. I was so bad at making my money work for my life. I let it control every part of me, and it was coming between my marriage, it was coming between my kids, it would come between everything. It would just cause this enormous stress and this cloud of anxiety over our life, and it didn't have to be that way. We were very smart, capable people who had the tools and had the resources, and so we knew that we could do better than what we were. And so that's really what set us into that journey also. And so I love that you're willing to share that.
Well, it was a disaster.
But hey, that's relatable.
But you know what, too? It's you learn best what you learn the hardest way.
Yes.
And for me, it was that. It was the family shame. Not because my family was shaming me, but I was ashamed to admit to my family what was going on.
Okay.
I told my kids early on, your dad and I have not managed well. You're not going to be able to put you through college. So your grades are going to determine what kind of a college experience you have. And they said, you know what? We just want to go and have fun. And we'll worry about college later. So they both finished college on their own later in their young lives. But they have an incredible work ethic because they had to do it for themselves. So to me, the biggest failure wasn't not being able to put my kids through college. but it was, I guess I could say, I think I started that sentence two different ways. It felt like a bigger failure than it really was because they benefited as a result of not having everything handed to them. And as a result, they're more conservative spenders because they saw us struggle. And they saw the discord that it created in me and my husband when money was such an issue. And no matter how hard we tried to hide it, they saw it. And so now they're conservative spenders. They've never asked us for a penny of financial help, which, you know, is such a blessing to me that I realize what I thought was so bad, God used as a blessing.
Absolutely. And he always does. Yeah. I totally agree. And I'll tell you, just from like that same personal experience, I know that it's, you know, having a budget can be so profound, and when we struggle through it, we have that much more determination to want to fix it and to find the solutions and to find the keys in that. And so I appreciate, you know, you sharing that vulnerability in your life, because it's absolutely true. You know what I mean? The things that we feel like we're failing at are sometimes the things that God uses to grow us with. And so Janie came into my life at the point where she had mastered it. Not only had she learned it, she had taught it, but she had mastered it. And that's where she's been able to really be a big influence in my life and helping me with it. And I knew she had some struggles, but I don't think I even knew all that part of your story. And it's inspiring to hear that, because it builds that much more value and believability for me, who's, you know, Janie's now my mentor to teach me. I've seen that she's seen the opposite of it, and she knows how much it can be such a peace of mind. And I think it's really rewarding when we can help others save from those same mistakes that we've learned. And so I've been able to see Janie absolutely live her best life budgeting, to do things and, you know, in her later life with her grandkids and her family, like travel and get to go do things and remodel her home and run her own business.
But let me tell you, the most fun thing recently is, because I have good savings, my gas line went out. And that's an $8,000 hiccup. Unexpected. But what do you do if you don't have gas and winter's coming? You know, you have to have those savings. And is it something I prepared for? No, but I had to look at my budget and say, what have I got scheduled for the next year that I can replace with a new gas line, which is not sexy. It is not fun. It was not what I wanted to spend my money on, but I guarantee you it is necessary.
Oh, you don't want to be cold.
No. Just to say no.
Because being cold's not sexy either.
No, it's not.
And cold showers are no fun.
They are no fun. I can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's wonderful to hear that. And I absolutely value that. So, okay, Janie, top takeaway and tools. Like, I know we could sit here and pick your brain for hours. What would be, like, talking to the newest person on this live that's watching, that's like, I need all the help. I'm desperate. I'm sick and tired of chasing my money. I'm sick and tired of being stressed about finances. It's coming between my marriage. It's coming between my peace. It affects every bit of me. Where would you tell the newest person to start? What tools would you recommend they look at?
Well, I would suggest that you take your bank statements and begin to divide it into categories. And the first is your housing, either rent or house payment. Include your utilities in there, because you need to know that you have a safe place for your family to live. If it's rent and it's too high for you, maybe begin to investigate the cost of lower cost housing. The other is basic transportation. It doesn't have to be the nicest new car on the showroom floor. If it's a serviceable used car and you've still got lots of miles left in it, that's satisfied. But be sure you reserve a little bit for repairs, because down the road you're going to have those, or you'll have a car payment. And then basic clothing. It doesn't mean that you have to wear the latest and greatest. The resale shops, oh my goodness, as a result of the pandemic, the resale shops are full of beautiful designer clothing that people just got rid of. And so you don't have to have the latest and greatest clothing, but you do have to have professional looking clothing if you're in business for yourself. And then the other thing is food and supplements that help you stay healthy, because medical expense is terribly expensive.
Absolutely.
Whether you have insurance and you're paying for that, plus your out-of-pocket costs, take care of your health, eat good, clean food, pay attention to what your children are eating and what they're absorbing through digital media. And I think that if you concentrate on those things and look back at your past 6 months' expenses in those 4 categories, then you can see, what do I need to add to that?
Or cut out.
cut out.
Because I know for like myself, we spent a lot of money on eating out.
Right.
And eating out is a luxury, not a necessity. When we
Exactly
could
right.
cook and prepare really good, healthy meals. And oftentimes eating out is not a healthy
No,
lifestyle.
exactly right. And in fact, I'll tell you what I ran across recently. Both Costco and Sam's have videos on Facebook about freezer meals. And a friend and I went in together and went to Sam's. We shopped, we bought in bulk, and we put meals in the freezer, and then you put them in the crock pot first thing in the morning. All the ingredients are raw.
Yep.
It's a great healthy family meal, and it really is the least expensive way you can feed a good meal to your family.
Absolutely.
So I would say all of those things, and then of course anything that you can cut out, like wine. That's my big splurge. Wine and sangria. I love them, but if I had to cut something out, that'd be the first to go.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
and
the
they
first to
can
go.
be expensive. A bottle of
can
wine
be.
can be 20, 30, 40, depending
Yeah,
on how
I'm
much
a
you
real cheap date. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking down
Yeah.
here.
But yeah, you're correct. That can
Yeah.
be a very expensive thing that can add up. And if
Exactly.
you're drinking hard liquors, a bottle of
Yeah.
hard liquor can be $50, $60.
Exactly.
And that's a great point. Absolutely. And it's good for your health to
It is.
cut that out.
And then, of course, cigarettes. I loved cigarettes. Oh, my gosh. I loved cigarettes so much. And I quit in 2006. And now when I look back and think of all the money I just sent up in smoke, it breaks my heart. But you have to get to that place where quitting is the most important thing
And your
for
health,
you.
what it's done for your health
Exactly.
and your lung capacity. Yes.
Exactly. So,
Absolutely.
but as far as tools go, if you divide out those expenses and look at it, then you have the beginning of a budget where you can say, okay, here's my income, and this is my expense, but what is that as a percentage? You know, what are those 4 pillars? What are they as a percentage? If you can keep those within 65% of your net take-home income, whether it's through commissions or through wages, maybe with a partner or a spouse, pay yourself 10% of the gross, put it in savings for those gas lines that go out unexpectedly. Put 10% to the Lord for blessing others. That's especially important. And I do believe if you bless others, you'll be blessed. And then 15% for taxes. And not that that is a necessary savings, but you're going to have to come up with it at some point, either month by month, income by income, or at the end of the year, like I did. I had to take out a loan one year because I didn't think I needed to make estimated tax payments. And what a rude awakening that was. And I'm still paying interest on that loan. So even though, you know, it's like you flatter me to say I had it all figured out, I guarantee you can still make mistakes. And you pay for those mistakes and you pay dearly. But that'll never happen again because I've made estimated tax payments.
Absolutely.
And those loan payments.
Absolutely. And
for
just think of the
many
peace of
months.
mind you have now from that.
Yes.
And it's so worth it.
Yeah, it is so worth it. So,
Okay, so books
and tools, yes. When Jim and I were at our most bleak, when we were, I mean, honestly, this sounds so pathetic, but we had a loaf of bread and a pound of bologna, and that was a week's meals. And we were too proud to ask for help. We were embarrassed. We were ashamed. We were mad at ourselves, but we did that. And we had a lot of credit card debt. We had a lot of bounce checks in the bank. I mean, we were a wreck. And we picked up a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, which it's an iconic book. I think it was written in the 1920s during the Great Depression. And it just gave you good tools and good attitudes about how to really pull yourself out of the pit. That book is important. And then Dave Ramsey in his class recommended Total Money Makeover. We worked off of that book for a while. And I don't take 100% of every book as gospel. I take what I need out of it. And then sometimes that's all I have to take out of that one. And then the third is called Profit First by Michael Michalowicz. And what I like about that is he says put all of your income into one account and then meet it out as you need it. And that was a good habit for me because it's just like if you go to a buffet and you have a small plate, you'll fill it up and you'll eat all that's on that plate. The bigger your plate, the more you eat. So if you can cut down what you have available to spend, you're going to spend less than if you just feel like, well, I've got $50,000 in the bank. Why can't I just have this? Well, yes, you can, but it's you're sacrificing something else. Money is finite. You either have it or you don't. And if you spend it on this, you don't have it for that. And it's just so simple, and it gives you such peace of mind when you know, yes, and I know where every penny of that balance in the bank goes.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I know it's safe. It's not in my mattress. It's sitting in a bank.
Yes.
Yes, and I have plans for it.
Yes.
And it's going to serve me instead of me serving it.
Yes.
So the other thing is Dave Ramsey Solutions has a budget tool online called Every Dollar. And he doesn't accept credit card payments, so you have to pay for it all up front from your checking account or your debit card. And
Which is one of his core principles.
yes, and
Yeah.
it's plus 100 more, 100 or seems like it was 115 maybe this year, and it's always an annual renewal, and it's paid up front, and they don't give you any warning; they just suck it out of your account.
Yep.
But it's another good budgeting tool to
It is a good
remember
tool.
that that's coming out.
It is a good tool.
Yeah.
And I personally use that,
Yeah.
and I'm not even 100% with it, and it's changed my life and the way I look at my money, just even with the inconsistent use that I've used it.
It is very helpful,
Yes.
and every month it allows you to do better than you did the month before.
It does.
Yeah,
And
so
it's easy.
it is very
It's
easy.
a
It's very
easy-
intuitive.
Yeah, very intuitive, and it's a very like budgeting for dummies.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Somebody who's not great at math can use
great
this
thing.
tool. Yeah,
Yeah, for
So,
sure. So I love a budget. It just gives you a plan. It gives you a direction. It gives you a road to take to get where you want to be. And maybe that's just extra sports activities for your children.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something. It doesn't have to be a trip to Rome, which I sacrificed for my gas line.
Aw.
Oh, there was a choice. Let me tell you, there was that moment where it's like, I could put that on a credit card. Nope.
Nope.
That's part of adulting. You just have to let something go when something more important comes along.
Amen.
But I do love a budget. It's my favorite thing to talk about because I do think it gives you peace of mind.
I agree. I totally agree. Well, Janie, this has been very valuable information, and I've learned, as I always do, just sitting here talking to you. So I'm excited for you guys to dive in and to get better at this. So hey, make sure you tag somebody that needs this video. Make sure that you comment and let us know if you found a great tool or something that you're using that's changing your budgeting goals. Let us know if you're struggling with budgeting, or if you feel like this is something in your life you're conquering. We would love to know. We would love to have your feedback. And Janie, I just thank you for your time today. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
It's a blessing to have you. So
Thanks.
you guys, let us know if you're catching this live or catching the replay, and we'll be back soon for more helpful tips this week on budgeting. Talk to you later. Bye.